Hello students! In our previous videos, we learnt about two different types of cumulative frequencies in the ogives. That is less than type cumulative frequency and more than type cumulative frequency. And the question we asked in last video was, are these ogives related to median anyway? Is it possible to obtain median from these two cumulative frequency curves for the corresponding data? Well, the answer is yes. Let's see how. One way of obtaining the median is to draw both the ogives, that is less than type and more than type, on the same graph paper. Yes, draw both the ogives on the same graph paper. And then look for the common intersection point on the graph. You already know how to draw less than and more than type ogives. But if not, let's quickly recall the steps. To make the less than and more than type ogives of this given particular data, we need to first make less than type and more than type cumulative frequency distribution table. It looks something like this. Now to make less than type ogive, mark the upper limits of class interval on x-axis and the respective cumulative frequencies on y-axis. We plot the points making ordered pairs of upper limits and their corresponding frequencies as x, y coordinates. That is 20, which is the upper limit of first class, and 4, which is the cumulative frequency of that corresponding class interval, as 20, 4. The next 40, 9, the next point is 60, 15, and the next point is 80, 18. And join all these points by freehand to obtain the less than type ogive. Now to make greater than type ogive, all these steps remain the same. Just that for this curve we will use more than type cumulative table, and on x-axis we will plot lower limits instead of upper limits. Thus, plot the ordered pairs of x, y, where x is lower limits and y is their respective cumulative frequencies. That is, plot 0, 18, 20, 14, 40, 9 and 60, 3 on the same graph paper and then join them. This is the more than type ogive or more than type curve. Now observe the point where both these ogives intersect. Let's call this point as Q. Drop a perpendicular line on the x-axis from this point of intersection of these curves, that is Q. This perpendicular line from Q meets x-axis at a certain point, say P, which determines the median of this data. Since P lies on x-axis, its y-coordinate will be 0 and its x-coordinate will be the median of this data. Thus, the median is x-coordinate of P is 40. Now the question is, can we find median from only one type of ogive instead of two ogives? Again, the answer is yes. The obvious way is to locate n by 2 on the y-axis and then find its corresponding x-coordinate. Now what does this mean? Students, recall that median is the middlemost observation of the whole data. That is, it is midpoint of all the n observations. Here n is 18. And when we divide it by 2, we get 9. So our n by 2 is 9. We mark this 9 on y-axis. From this point, draw a line parallel to the x-axis intersecting the ogive at point Q. Now from this point Q, draw a perpendicular on the x-axis which intersects it at point, say R. The point of intersection of this perpendicular with x-axis, that is point R, determines the median of this data. Thus, median of this data is the x-coordinate of this point, that is 40. So students, what we learned is how to draw more than type and less than type cumulative frequency table and how to obtain its ogive. We also learn how to find median of the data from both these ogives together and single ogive as well. But as we know that drawing graphs is time consuming and tedious work. And for median, sometimes we have to draw two ogives, so it becomes more cumbersome or time consuming to find mean of such data. By chance, data is huge, drawing graphs is difficult as well. So students, we will learn one such method of calculating median algebraically, that is using formula, in our next video.